Hello guys, welcome back to S3D, and this is actually a sponsor video. I need to figure out how I can put the sponsor video tag on this thing because I think that's something that I need to put on in all my future sponsor videos. So I haven't taken on any sponsors in a long time. Most of the time I just sell stuff from my local stores and stuff like that. This is actually a eBay seller on eBay. He wanted me to do this video in return for, we haven't agreed to anything yet, but he agreed to actually send me something to, review. And maybe, we can establish some kind of a relationship after that. But anyway, he wanted me to do a video about my relationship with Hasbro Transformer figures and why I'm very disappointed with Hasbro products. Obviously, my relationship with Hasbro products goes all the way back to the Beast War era. I don't think I have actually bought any Transformer figures prior to Beast War. Now, I don't remember anything when I was a kid because I immigrated to the US in the 90s. And I think before that, I wasn't even into Transformers. I had to think really, really hard because I remember when I was a kid in Asia, and I have those Takara Master Force figures or the headmaster things, but I don't think I have any Megatrons, and I don't think those figures were even mine. Actually, I think they belong to some of my cousins. So, yeah, it was a very very difficult time to remember. So yeah, so technically, the first Megatron that I bought was when I was a teenager. I was really into Beast Wars, but I wasn't really into the T Rex Megatron. I wasn't into the Transmetal 2 Megatron. When he became the Dragon Megatron, I was actually really interested in. I know recently they released the Dragon version, the updated version from the Legacy line. I thought that was cool. But then my friend gave me donated this, the old one that I used to have. Obviously, this isn't mine. This actually belongs to my friend. And I actually sold it. Surprisingly, it wasn't worth a lot of money. And yeah, the sad part was this was actually a pretty cool figure. Uh, Back in the day, before like the third party came on the scene, I think these figures were decent. They weren't like really amazing or anything like that, but at least they were solid figures for the most part, in my opinion. So yeah, my first Megatron, I was pretty happy with it. And believe it or not, uh, I did not buy a single Megatron figure for at least another 11 years until 2009. And yeah, I watched the Dark of the Moon movie, and I got bored, and I ended up buying the this version of Megatron. This is the I guess the leader class. It's got the light and sound effect. It's just called himself like I am Megatron, something like that. It's got the hand cannon launcher feature. It's got the blade. The proportion on this figure is absolutely terrible. I mean, he just looked like a gigantic kid's toy. Back and then like his head is also exposed in the tank mode. The whole thing just looks ridiculous. But back in the day, I don't know anything about third party figures, so I was just the casual uh, collector who buys stuff on the you know the from the stores and stuff like that. So who knows? Like I guess he was a good figure for the time, but back then I didn't care much. This thing was like 30 to almost $40, kind of ridiculous. I ended up buying another one of this a couple of years later for a friend, and it was like $100 or something like that. It was kind of ridiculous, but anyway, this was my second Megatron officially. So, I actually watched the Dark of the Moon movie, Transformer Dark of the Moon. Oh, that was really really awful. They did release some good figures for that line. I actually remember having the Shockwave figure, and I like Shockwave so much, I ended up getting Megatron. Let me tell you, I was also very disappointed with this version of Megatron. Like both in the movie and the figure actually wasn't bad. Like his truck mode was actually very cool. I like how they did, his cloak, how that works. I think that was a very interesting design. I believe this one recently got a update, but people didn't care too much about it. Yeah, I don't care enough to get any of these figures, to be honest with you. It's just like I was a casual collector at the time, you know. It's like, I just buy these stuff for fun. I transform it, and when I don't want anymore, I just get rid of it. Um, yeah, I don't really have quite fond memories of this figure. I think it was cool, but it wasn't like amazing or anything like that. But the next one is definitely a lot worse than this figure. And then a couple years later, of course, I don't end up keeping any of my Megatron prior to the. In fact, I don't have any Megatrons in my collection right now. But I ended up buying this guy because I was super bored. I was at a Target and I had nothing better to do with my money, I guess. So I bought this guy. I thought he was going to be cool. This guy is very, very disappointing. I mean, he's got a ridiculous weapon, and I thought it was actually a Sharticon until, like, I pay attention to the box and realize it was Megatron. This is actually from the Transformer whatever series on TV, and then somehow he got resurrected by Unicron and become this weird shark color. Yeah, this is like the most ridiculous Megatron ever. I kind of feel like they were trying to turn him into Galvatron, but it didn't work. It was just not a good figure, in my opinion. Like I don't like the transformation. I don't know what the hell he's trying to be. Uh, his weapons were just like this is like the least Megatron I have ever seen. Obviously, I had it for like a day or two, and I got rid of it. Someone was offering me a good price on eBay, and then I just got rid of it. All right, so 6 to 7 years later, um, maybe not 6 to 7 years, maybe 6 years later, 2018, I think. This is when this figure came out. This is like the updated version of the Studio series when they introduced the Studio series. Stuff that looks a little bit more movie accurate. Um, Megatron. So yeah, Studio series Megatron from the Revenge of the Fallen. I believe it or not, I actually like this figure quite a bit. I thought the Hasbro and Takara was actually trying to make better figures. I saw the upgrade kit from DNA Toys, and I thought, you know what? Finally, we got some decent, Transformers figures that actually look uh, movie accurate. Boy, was I wrong. After this, they put out quite a few stinkers. This figure, I like this so much, I completely repainted it using lacquer paint by hand, actually. Took me like 2 days to completely repaint this figure, make it all shiny and stuff. Now, they did update this version with a more metallic finish, and then there's also the battle damage version. So people definitely like this figure a lot. I think I had this figure for at least a month before I got rid of it. Yeah, but it was nice for the time. It wasn't like super super awesome or anything. I do like the more accurate looking tank mode though. Yeah. Robot mode, I am not impressed. Look at those legs. They just look awful. And the proportion is still not great. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Now, fast forward a year or two, uh, Flame Toys announced these full ride action Megatron model kit. You know, obviously at the time I was doing a lot of model kit reviews. You know, I was really big into Gunpla, and this was something right up my alley. So yeah, this is like the second or third Megatron that they did. This is like the IDW version. Now this is actually a significant improvement of Optimus Prime. I have a lot of problem with the Optimus Prime model kit, but I did actually review this one. I gave it some really high reviews. And you know, at the time, I realized they were also doing the action figure line, the full ride action. But unfortunately, it looks like Megatron never got made into an action figure. I like this guy does have model kit issues. Like some areas, you definitely need to glue together because they will come apart when you try to pose it, and then it becomes really frustrating. However, it does actually look really nice. Yeah, it's just not something you want to play with. This is something that you want to detail up and then put it in the pose, and that's it. Put it in the show. This was actually really good. At the time I was a big fan of Flame Toys. I thought they could do no wrong, but what happened to Flame Toys? Yeah, seems like they haven't really made any noise in a while. They do have those like super high end Kuro Katakuri line, but I don't know what happened after. I think Bluefin dropped them, Bandai Namco dropped them, so I don't know who's their distributor now. But yeah, it's I know they're still making those figures, but who knows? But these were decent. Yeah, I had this guy for at least 3 months before I end up getting rid of it. And since it's a model kit, you know the resale value is less than nothing. You pay like $60 for these, and I sold it for like $15 or something. Yeah, that's usually how it is. And here's my most recent version of Megatron. I actually got rid of this about 5 to 6 days ago. If you're watching this video, probably a week ago. So I sold this to a viewer on this channel. Uh, yeah, something I got from a Lunar New Year. My cousin got me this figure, and I opened it right in front of him because you know we're joking about this guy being like $12 at Ross or something like that. I think it is actually $12 at Ross if you can find it. But yeah, it was actually really nice. I was like, wow, this is a super awesome figure for $12. Right? Show me the receipts. I want to buy more. It's actually not bad, you know. Like he does capture the look of the original one. I seen the original one in my local hobby shop. Somebody brought it in, and I was playing around with it for a little bit. It's got some nice features. You know, I thought this was a step forward, a good step forward for the line. You know, definitely one of the better leader class figures, right? And they want like $60 for this thing MSRP, and I'm just like, no, hell no, no way I will ever pay $60 for something like this. This is freaking ridiculous. Yeah, it's it's got a little bit more color, you know, but this thing, you know, as nice as it is, as nice as it is, feels like a gigantic kid's toy. Yeah, like my cousin and I were really big into Transformers when we were kids. In fact, you know, in the beginning of the video, I talk about the Master Force figures. I think those actually belong to my cousin. Yeah, I think I'm now remembering the whole situation. It's like he's the one with all the Transformer figures, and I'm the one with all the Saint Seiya figures. And then we would exchange toys. you know, I let him play with the Saint Seiya figures, and he's just like, "What the hell is this thing? Why do you have to take the armor off and put it on the figure?" I'm like, "Dude, that's just how it is." And I did not understand these transformers. I was like, why, what the hell? Like, you have to transform it into a different mode? Yeah, just two completely different type of toys. You know, I guess I'm more into the humanoid stuff, and he's more into the robotic transforming shenanigans situation. But yeah, overall, this was a good figure. Somebody offered me like $35 for this $12 figure. I'm like, okay, well, $35. There you go. Take it. Uh, I have actually checked the price on Mercari. Everybody's selling for like around $35. So that means, yeah, it is probably somewhere at some discount store. I don't know if it's at Ross or it's like Ollie's or something like that. My cousin actually lives in Florida, so he came to visit, and I'm sure like he must have found it somewhere at the Ollie's in Florida. So yeah, so it's very very interesting. Um, yeah, I am not super impressed. I mean, I would not even consider these adult collectibles, and for $60, it's I think this guy is barely like 7 or 8 inches tall, and it's a leader class, right? I remember watching a lot of videos about Shephertron ranting about a lot of these Hasbro Takara products, and I'm just like, okay, you know what? I think this is these things are all ginormous scams for like little kids at this point. All right, so my cousin actually brought this figure over, and I actually played around with it against another Studio Series figure, and I thought I was kind of impressed. I didn't really get to spend a lot of time with it. All I did is transform it twice, and I thought the robot mode actually looked really nice. It looks kind of high end and stuff like that, right? Then I watched Shephertron's review, and he just complained a lot about the figure. And, it got me thinking the size of the figure and what we're getting and the price they're charging. I mean, look at how much it costs on Entertainment Earth. This is just another $60 figure plus $10 shipping. That's 70 freaking dollars for like a kid's toy, essentially. It's got like those weird ass proportions and then wonky ass transformation situation. I do actually agree with Chevitron that like this guy only looks good in robot modes. The tank mode just looked like a block with a cannon sticking out. And I even seen the plane mode. The plane mode is like it's like one of those like weird ass fan modes, right? And apparently, Takara and Hasbro are so proud of that mode. They tried to sell it to us as a third uh, mode. Yeah, I was not impressed with this at all afterwards. I did actually, I was like, if this guy show up at like, Ollie's or Ross or a discount store, I might consider picking it up for like $20 or $15. But I think that's actually going to happen at some point. Maybe this year, maybe next year. Who knows? All right, so now circle back to my video about these 30 MDLX Megatron. My cousin actually told me he actually watched that video and then he was telling me, yeah, this is definitely something I want to get into if I ever want to get into Transformers. These are essentially the adult version of toys that we have in the past. Now, like I have always been a huge skeptic when it comes to so-called high-end Transformers. I never believed any of my friends who collected the DLX line a couple of years ago. When I got into high-end collectibles, everybody was trying to convince me to get these DLX figures. And I was like, dude, how can they be any good? I mean, considering like, my experience with Bandai, uh, my experience with Hot Toys and stuff like that. They're like, no, like 30 actually makes some of the best Transformer figures. In fact, uh, there was a video response by Kiko Collectible. If you guys know him, he does a lot of 6 scale reviews. He was actually telling me in the video response that 30 figures, especially a Transformer, are some of the best figures ever made, right? Usually, I don't believe anybody on YouTube when they are commenting about things like this. And then I saw the Anthony's Customs review, and he gave a Megatron 9.5 out of 10. I find him very credible. Some people don't agree with a lot of his opinions. I'm not 100% in agreement with a lot of his reviews. But, if he says something that's a 9.5 out of 10, that definitely holds some weight. So my cousin was like, yeah, dude, it's to him, my cousin, who's a lifetime Transformer collector, he told me it's a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect figure. I'm just like, dude. I wonder if Shepardtron ever reviewed any of these MDLX figures, because he is actually another reviewer that I consider credible when it comes to Transformer stuff. Now, I know lately he's been getting a lot of criticism. In fact, I've seen a whole bunch of kids making parody videos of his reviews where they like hit the Transformer figure with a stick, and they're saying like, oh yeah, this is how Shepardtron determined the quality of a figure, by hitting it with a stick. I don't know what happened there, but yeah. I don't know if T-Man 978, I'm just dropping names, review any of these stuff. If he did, I would definitely want to hear his opinion about this, because I think T-Man sampled Transformers, right? I think so, right? I hope so. But yeah, these are some folks that I consider credible when it comes to their opinion about Transformers. So yeah, basically everybody that I've talked to so far have been saying very nice things, including the sponsor on eBay. He's like, yeah, okay, do a video about this, and I'll send you one of these figures to review. And if you want to, I can be his U.S. Distributor, even though I'm no longer planning on living in the U.S. Well, actually, I'm gonna set him up with one of my, hobby shops, and maybe he can, sell them these things at a better price so they can make some profits off these figures. But yeah, like this thing is being sold on Hasbro Pulse for $80. It is sold out, of course. One of the few figures that Hasbro ever able to sell at full price. Like none of their shit is being sold for full price because it's garbage. It's just going to like Ollie's and Ross. But yeah, the 3-0 figure, just like all their Joes, are sold out on Hasbro Pulse. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, imagine selling this guy. This guy is $80, and that other Studio Series Megatron that it's like what's like undersized, underweight, has a stupid ass alt mode. That's like $65. Like what the heck, man? Come on. Like, what are you doing? Seriously, Hasbro. Oh, anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this video. So stay tuned for the review on this Megatron. Thanks for watching.